One Question is brought to you by Turnkey Search, a top industry search firm since 1996.
Greetings, this is Ty Brown and welcome to One Question. I'm here at the 2018 AFCA convention. Our guest today is Scott Roussel. Scott is the owner of FootballScoop.com. He's owned it for 10 years, and Football Scoop is the premier source for coaching job information. And in my role for the 13 or 14 years I was with the American Football Coaches Association, I've gotten to know Scott, and I would check Football Scoop often to see what was happening in terms of job changes and personnel within the football world. Greetings, Scott. Thanks for joining us today.
I'm really excited to be here, Ty. Thanks for having me.
Well, Scott, now you've been doing this for 10 years, and you have a wealth of sources who give you the information and check with you and tell you what's going on. But you also have a number of users who check your site. And initially, it probably was just football coaches. But now I think pretty much everyone in the nation comes to Football Scoop to find out what's going on in the football coaching world. How have you created really and maintained that environment of credibility, of trust for the users and also for the people who give you information?
Yeah, it's really grown over the last 5 years, really. We've really seen a spike, and honestly, this year has been incredible. And that happens through relationships, and a lot of that is each of the last 5 years I get out and I visit about 20 colleges. And then obviously we come to events like the AFCA, and USA Football has a great conference as well. And there's some really good high school type conferences in Texas. And you go there and you spend time with the coaches and with the administrators, with the athletic directors. I get the opportunity to go to a lot of football games as well. And often you have the opportunity to visit with athletic directors and their staff there as well, in addition to the coaches. And it's just about relationships, right? And if your entire intent, like ours is to do good, to affect positive change for the profession, people see that, they begin to trust that, they watch it over time, and we just consistently we do the same thing. All sources remain confidential. They have since 1999. It's on the website. Anybody calls and they understand they can speak freely to me. I bet you 80% of the phone calls to me are more just gauging my thoughts. Hey, Scott, we're thinking about hiring this guy. Well, or, hey, Scott, we're looking for some ideas. Do you have anybody you'd recommend? Or, hey, man, I've been offered this job. I don't know. Do you think it's a good idea? So we do a lot of that off book, so to speak. So we're there to help the profession understand what's going on in the profession. Football coaches, they're going to spend 95, 98% of their time coaching their team. Well, from time to time they need to see where the market is or what's going on. It's a very unique profession in that every year it's a defined season. When the season ends, and it's about 20% of the schools have some turnover. It's just a fact of matter in that profession. You gotta know where the market is. So we're a very simple place. You go to footballscoop.com, then you go to The Scoop, and that's every college, NFL type job. It's very easy to digest, and it works. It works for everybody, and I think everybody's really happy with it, which is why we've seen the growth that we have in traffic and
those kind of things. Well,
and everything.
Like I mentioned, it's from just being football coaches to now, I believe even athletic directors and everybody else goes to the site. And I think this is a fair question to ask, right, without giving up any sources, but do you interact with athletic directors now in terms of Football Scoop?
Oh, for sure. Actually, I had a really funny interaction last week. So it was, it might have been like Wednesday, and we got a call from a guy we know really well, and guy's well known in the profession. He knows what's going on. Oftentimes his coaches go other places, and he just knows what's going on, right? And if he calls me, he says, "Hey, Scott, I think this is happening. This is, it's not a done deal. This guy's a candidate." That guy's a candidate. I mean, this guy knows. So anyway, we put on there, this guy's a candidate for another job. It says it's an offensive coordinator somewhere, is a candidate somewhere else. A higher paying, higher profile job. Okay, sure. So the next morning, it's about 7:30 in the morning, and I see the phone call is coming from that university. And I'm, wow, we'll see who this is. Hey, Scott, and I don't want to say who it was, but he says, I'm the athletic director here. I'm like, yeah, how you doing? Nice to hear from you. What's going on? He says, well, Scott, can we have a talk? Yeah. He's like, and this is just you and me. Yes, of course. He says, listen, where'd you get the information? I said, well, a guy called me, a guy I know him very well personally. I mean, he's in this. I think he knows. He says, well, in this one, I don't think he's right. He is a candidate somewhere else, but he's not where y'all put it. And I said, well, I apologize. We never like to have information that's not right. How do you think I should fix it? And he says, well, he's just not a candidate. I think you should just go on there and put, he's not a candidate anymore. And I said, okay, well, was he? And he says, well, I think maybe at one time, but he's not anymore. So I said, okay, well, is it fair for me to say he's no longer a candidate? He says, yeah, that'd be great. And so I thought, kind of think the conversation's ending. Yeah. And then he says, hey, can I ask you another question? I said, yeah, sure. And he says, do other ADs call you? I said, all the time. I said, like, every day. And he said, I knew it. He said, man. He goes, listen, I check your website like 5 times a day. And he goes, I talk to some other guys, and they deny it, but I know they all do it. He goes, every one of them checks it every day. Right. So I got a big kick out of that. In all honesty, Ty, when I go visit the places is often when I have the best conversations with athletic directors. The football coaches like to get me over to the AD. So, I'm spending time in the football building. They'll walk me over there, and they'll just leave me with the AD. And it's a great opportunity to just get to know each other personally. And once you start doing that, then you're good. And they understand. I think the ADs, even if they didn't know football scoop that well, they talk to the coaches and they say, we can trust this guy. Yeah, we can trust this guy. And then you're good to go after that.
Right. Well, and it's always good to have correct information, credible information,
Absolutely.
And protect your sources like you do. Where do you see football scoop going? I've seen you expand and retract over the last 10 years from having a quick hit type podcast type thing to having news. Do you see yourself going any direction, or will you always, I guess you always try to stay to the core with the scoop?
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, the scoop is the scoop, right? It's been out there since 99. So that page, it is what it is. We can't really touch that one. But yeah, we like to evolve. It's just finding the time and dedicating the resources. We're a small shop, and right or wrong, from a business perspective, we always try and keep our advertising rates pretty darn affordable, really, really small dollars, I think. So, we're not charging a lot. Hence, maybe that's holding us back a little bit. Maybe if we had some more revenue, we can go do some more things, some more videos, some more podcasts. There's certainly more podcasts. People are begging us for a podcast. And we do one every now and then. We just don't do like a daily. And they are begging for that. People want to consume what they know, what they trust, what they like, right? So, I've learned over the course of years, everybody learns things and they take in information in different ways, right? Not everybody likes to read it on the web, So, we use Twitter, we use Facebook, but we need to do audio, we need to do video. There's a lot of opportunities for growth. Yeah, I'm looking forward to a good year.
It is, and of course, all of them aren't necessarily necessary as long as you stick with what you're doing and it's working for you. But just like you said, people like to digest information in different ways. This is my last question here. It seems like you've grown to develop a good relationship here with the American Football Coaches Association, Coach Barry, and that thing. And I would assume that's beneficial for you because now the users see that there's a relationship with AFCA, so it adds to the credibility that the sources are calling and those kind of things. Is that something, as you see, as a definite asset for your business?
Oh, no question about it. I think we've had so Todd and I have been friends for years, and maybe the relationship's gotten even better, but I don't think the relationship was ever bad. I really enjoyed working with Coach Taff and you guys, the whole staff as well. But yeah, it was an everyday occurrence, but it's special if you step back and you look at it. This is Monday here at the AFCA. I'm sitting here in a room. It's just Todd Barry and I. And Gary Darnell walks up and sits down. Then Frank Solich walks up and sits down. And then Craig Bowl walks up and sits down. And we were talking like 5 old buddies, And it's great how much they embrace me. And to a man, they all say, Scott, we appreciate what you do. You help the profession so much. You're out there helping to drive the positive narrative about what coaches do, because coaches do 99 great things a day that no one knows about, except for the individual that they affected. That young man, his family, they know it, but no one else does. And then you hear about the one bad incident where coach got an offender bender and that's national news now or something like that. But that guy's been changing lives for the good, for the last 3,000 days. And today, he might, whatever. Whatever. So I like to share the positives. Everybody makes mistakes. Everybody deserves an opportunity to rebound from those mistakes. And I like to share, shed light on the positive.
Right. Well, Scott, you know, as you know from getting to know you over the last 10 years, I have a passion for the football coaching profession, developing young coaches and seeing guys progress through their career, which I know for sure that you have. And I definitely appreciate the things you've done. And also, specifically today, appreciate you sitting down, taking a few minutes to join me here on One Question.
Can I turn it around, Ty?
Yes, sir.
Okay. One question.
Yeah.
I've heard this one for about a year now, but why is it one question? Because we went through more than one question,
Right.
my friend.
The one ties to D1 ticker, right? But there is usually, I'll say this.
One core question.
There's usually one core question that you have to get to. You ask the other ones to set up the main question.
I love what y'all are doing. This is fantastic. Thank you for doing this. This is a great series.
Yes, sir. Thanks for joining me. That was Scott Roussel. Scott is the owner of footballscoop.com, which is the premier source for coaching job information. And this is Ty Brown with One Question. And keep in mind, the role of a leader is to create and maintain an environment that people want to be a part of. And as always, be better tomorrow than you are today.
And that's today's One Question, brought to you by Turnkey Search, a top industry search firm since 1996. One Question is designed to give D1 Ticker subscribers valuable insights on how executive leaders in college athletics think about key issues on their respective campuses, in their departments, or within their leagues and conferences. One Question is brought to you by Turnkey Search, a top industry search firm since 1996.